Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Santa Anita Park here on opening day. It is Saturday, the 26th of December, 2020. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from Santa Anita, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. It's opening day from Santa Anita. You have the traditional opening day feature, the Malibu, which is a great race, and all the other stakes races are great. So let's get to all the races right now. Races 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So races 4 and then 7 through 11. So let's get with the fourth race from Santa Anita. It is the Mathis Brothers Mile, grade 2 purse, $200,000, race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 7 horses going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Santa Anita turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile on the turf course, rails at 0 feet. And at this meeting this year, we have some changes to the turf course. A new turf chute on the backstretch so they can run 6 furlong races and 6.5 furlong races, but still no downhill races. But I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this meeting that maybe they'll sneak a downhill turf race in, sprint race downhill. They're still going to run marathons, but hopefully they'll add the sprints back into it, which, like I said, I could see it happening. But my top selection here, I'm going to go with the 5-horse Smooth Like Straight. We'll go 5-6-3-7 in the superfecta, 5-6-3-7 super. Top selection of 5-horse Smooth Like Straight. 3-year-old colt by Midnight Loot. Michael McCarthy trains. Umberto Rispoli gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 20th of November at Del Mar, mile 8th in the Grade 1 Hollywood Derby, and the horse finished second by a head there. And from the inside, he stalked that day, had the lead, and then domestic spending just got to him late. But this horse ran a terrific race on the front end, cutting back to a mile. Should get a good trip from mid-pack. From a mid-pack post draw. I really think he can run a good race. 2 back in the Grade 2 Twilight Derby here at Santa Anita, mile 8th, October the 18th. He won by 1.5 lengths, and he stalked. He got the lead, and then it just took off clear. An all-around good effort. And then prior to that, in the American Turf at Churchill, mile 16th, September the 5th, he finished 4th by 4 lengths there, and he had a very weird trip. He stalked, he had the lead, and then he completely hit the wall. Maybe just the races were just too far, together there, because the previous race in La Jolla handicap, he won by 2.5 lengths, and he basically won for fun there. But that Churchill race in September was very weird. Before that, they took the horse Churchill in the War Chant, and he won by 1 3/4 lengths, and he did a great trip. Even from a wide post draw, he still took off clear. I like him a lot. Back to this turf course, training well, 8-5. Let's use him. Your second likeliest winner is a 6-horse Field Pass for Mike Maker and Ricardo Santana Jr. This horse has been a world traveler or a cross-state traveler. Most recently, though, up in Canada in the Ontario Derby, the horse won by a length, had a great trip to win there. Before then, the Twilight Derby here at Santa Anita had an okay third place finish, but it just had a little bit of a wide post draw. And then before that, in the American Turf, the horse finished third by 1 3/4 lengths, where this horse just got edged over late. But this is where his last 4 races came: Woodbine, Santa Anita, Churchill, Saratoga, then to Keeneland, then Churchill. So he's been all across the country all year long. Back to the West Coast today, training well Turfway. 5-2, let's use him on the multis. But to recount my selection for the fourth from Santa Anita, it's the Grade 2 Mathis Brothers Mile. Let's use the 5-horse Smooth Like Straight. Also give kudos to the 6-horse Field Pass. We'll go 5-6-3-7 in the superfecta, 5-6 in the multi-race. Let's get to race 7 now. Race number 7 from Santa Anita. It is the Grade 2 San Antonio Stakes. Grade 2 event going for a purse of $200,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses heading to the main track. The distance of ground is 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of mile 1/16 on the Santa Anita main track. 1,700 meters, a mile 1/16. Here in the San Antonio, local prep race for the Pegasus coming up in about a month's time. Also, you can use this race as a springboard towards the San Pasquale, which will be a springboard towards the San Antonio Handicap in about 9 weeks or so, something like that. I like the older horse division here in Southern California. It's not bad at times, and sometimes it really sucks. But I think this year, it wasn't so bad. But my top selection here, I'm going to go with the 4-horse Sharp Samurai. I'm going to go 4-7-8-5 in the superfecta. 4-7-8-5 super. Top selection of 4-horse Sharp Samurai. 6-year-old gelding by First Samurai. Mark Glatt trains. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came at Keeneland on the 7th of November. 1 mile in the Grade 1 Bridge Cup Dirt Mile. And the horse finished third by 3.5 lengths there. And from the inside, the first furlong for the of the mile was the best he ran in that race. And then going to the turn, he got blocked into the rail and basically cost all chances there. Never really had a good turn of foot. The only reason he got third was because the track was playing towards front runners. And Go Nick Go. And Nick Go just ran a terrific race on the front end and loves Keeneland. But this horse, he ran not so good. Come back to Santa Anita, lesser quality horse. I think he ran a good race. His last three buyers were triple digits, so he's a good horse. Two back in the City of Hope Mile on the lawn here at Santa Anita, 1 mile October the 3rd. He finished second by 1¾ lengths. He stalked. He had the lead, but he just couldn't keep the momentum late. He still ran a terrific race on the lawn. And then prior to that, in the Pacific Classic at Del Mar, 1¼ he finished second by 3 lengths there. Maximum Security ran a very good race to get the victory. But this horse, he just kind of stalked and just couldn't get to him late. And then prior to that, in the Eddie Reed at Del Mar, 1/8 on the lawn, he finished second by half length. Really closed up well late behind United, who ran, a terrific race there. But coming here today, back to the dirt, where this horse shows some good potential. 5-2 is a very likely winner, along with the 7-horse Idol. This 3-year-old colt by Curlin, Richard Baltus trains. Gabriel Saez comes in from Kentucky to ride the horse. Most recently, they ran the horse at Churchill, mile 3/16 and last race 83,000, and the horse won by 5 3/4 lengths and took off clear. He stalked, he got the lead, and an all-around good effort. 98 buyer coming back to a mile 16 today, around 2 turns again, training well locally. I like his chances a lot. Of 5-1. Let's use him as a new shooter. But to recap my selection for the 7th from Santa Anita, it's Race to San Antonio. Let's take as a top selection a 4-horse Sharp Samurai. Also give kudos to the 7-horse Idol. We'll go 4, 7, 8, 5 in the superfecta, 4, 7 in the multi-race to race 8. The 8th race from Santa Anita, it is the Brea Stakes, grade 1 purse, $300,000, race for 3-year-old fillies here. We have a field of 11 horses heading to the main track. The distance of ground here, 1,400 meters, if you want to go by that, or the distance of ground is 7 furlongs on the Santa Anita main track. 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs in the Brea. My top selection here, we're going to go with the number 5 horse, Finite. We'll go 5, 8, 2, 3 in the superfecta, 5, 8, 2, 3 super. Top selection of 5 horse, Finite, 3-0 fleet by Munnings here. Steve Asmussen trains. Ricardo Santana Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came against first-time older horses in the Chaluki at Churchill, 1 mile November the 21st. The horse won by 2.5 lengths there, sitting back early, a little bit wide around the turn, but when the horse got the turn of foot and the whip, the horse just took off clear. A very good run, cutting back to 7 here today. Should see a good pace in this one to close with. I think this horse could really run a good race. 2 back in the Raven run at Keeneland, 7 furlongs October the 17th. The horse finished second by a neck behind Venetian Harbor that day, and she stalked that. She sat back early. She had a really good turn of foot late, and she made a good run against Venetian Harbor, who just outgamed this horse late. But this horse, there was nothing bad about that run. And then prior to that, the horse ran the Music City at Churchill, 6.5 furlongs, September the 15th. The horse finished 11th by 14 lengths. And, you either handle Kentucky Downs or you don't. The horse handles it as a 2-year-old, but last time out, the horse just didn't handle it. Never really had a good run there. And then prior to that, in the Fairgrounds Oaks at mile 16th, March 21st, the horse finished 4th by 4.5 lengths and really just had nothing. I like the horse's races around 1 turn better. Back to 7. It's 7-2. Let's take her, and let's single her in the multi-race. To recap my selection now for the 8th from Santa Anita, it's the grade 1 Brea. Let's go with the 5 horse Finite. We'll go 5, 8, 2, 3 in the superfecta, single the 5 in the multi-race to race 9. The 9th race from Santa Anita, it is the American Oaks. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse of $300,000, race for fillies, 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 10 horses going the distance of ground of 2,000 meters, or the distance of ground here of 1.25 miles on the Santa Anita turf course. 2,000 meters, 1.25 miles. A very rare hillside race for the day, but my top selection, I'm gonna go with the number 9 horse here, Sharing. We'll go 9, 5, 8, 3 in the superfecta, 9, 5, 8, 3 super. Top selection 9 horse Sharing. This 3-year-old filly by Spicetown. Grand Motion trains. John Velasquez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the grade 1 Matriarch at at Del Mar, 1 mile November the 29th, and the horse finished 4th by 3/4 length and stalked early on, had a decent turn of foot, just couldn't get there later. The Del Mar turf course was a little tight at times, and I think it got to her, but she still ran a terrific race, increasing the trip an extra 2 furlongs to 1.25 miles today. Should settle down nicely. I think the horse could really run a good race. 2 back in the Edgewood at Churchill, 1 mile September the 4th. The horse won by 1 1/4 lengths and absolutely loves the Churchill turf course, I think. She stalked, she got the lead, and then she just took off clear, 60 cents to the dollar. She was supposed to win, and she won quite nicely there. And then prior to that, they ran her at Royal Ascot on soft ground, which I don't think she appreciated. 1 mile in the Coronation Cup, the Coronation Stakes, excuse me. The horse finished second by 4.5 lengths. Alpine Star ran a terrific race, but this horse kind of stalked, moved a little bit late. It wasn't anything to call home about. I just don't think it was the right race and the right going for her. And then prior to that, she ran the Tempin at Churchill 1 mile May the 23rd. The horse won by half a length, a little bit wide that day, but she got the job done, and has started here at Santa Anita Pass. She actually won the Breeze Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf in 2019 over this turf course by 1 1/4 lengths from a stupidly wide post drop. She finally got a good trip there and won nicely, but I like the longer trip with her here today. 3-1, let's take her. Multi-race scenario, the 5-horse Luck Money for Ricardo Santana Jr., cutting back in trip to 1.25 miles from 1.5 miles should really suit this horse well. Her races here on the East Coast haven't been half bad at all. At 7-2, we'll use her. And I also think you have to use the 8-horse Duopoly for Chad Brown. Won the Winter Memories very impressively here in New York at Aqueduct a few weeks ago. And, the races here on the East Coast aren't bad for her. 4-1, we'll use her on the multis. But to recap my selection for the 9th from Santa Anita, it's the Grade 1 American Oaks. Let's take the 9-horse Sharing as a top selection. We'll also give kudos to the 5 and 8 horse. We'll go 9, 5, 8, 3 in the superfecta, 9, 5, 8 in the multi-race. Let's get to the featured 10th race from the Great Race Place. The 10th race from Santa Anita, it is the Malibu Stakes Grade 1 purse, $300,000, race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 6 a very good classy group of 6 horses going the distance of around 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs here in the Malibu. 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 2 horse, 1,000 Words. We're going to go 2, 6, 3, 4 in the superfecta, 2, 6, 3, 4 super. Top selection of 2 horse, 1,000 Words. 3-year-old colt by Pioneer of the Nile. Bob Baffert trains. John Velazquez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 3rd of October at Pimlico, mile 3/16 in the Grade 1 Preakness. Remember the backstory for that race, though. In the Derby, he was supposed to run, but in the paddock, he flipped over, so they scratched him out of the Derby, ran in the Preakness. He finished 8th by 16.5 lengths. He was with the pace setters early on and then just hit the wall completely. Cutting back to 7 furlongs here today off a little bit of a break, training well. I think this horse will really run a good race, and I think 8-1 is a very good price, and I think his odds drift up if they're going to bet that Nashville into the ground. 2 back in the share belief at Del Mar, mile 16th, the 1st of August. Which seems like yesterday for some reason, the 1st of August. That was the only weekend during so far since the pandemic began that I actually went out socially. I'm not going to tell you what I did, but it was a very fun weekend. But the horse won by 3/4 length, and the horse down on the front and all around had everything his own way. That was an all-around good effort. And then before then, Los Al Derby at Los Alamitos, mile 8, July the 4th. The horse finished second by 4 lengths there. Uncle Chuck, the stablemate, just won nicely. This horse just kind of, plodded along, never quickened up, never weakened out of it, just plodded along. And then before then, the Oaklawn Stakes at Oaklawn, sloppy seal going, mile 8, April 11th. The horse from 11th by 23 3/4 lengths, 29 3/4 lengths to be exact. As the favorite, this horse just didn't break well, and after that was behind the A-ball, didn't handle the slop. It wasn't a recipe for success. And then prior to that, in the San Felipe at Santa Anita, mile 16th, the 7th of March, the horse finished 4th by 11 3/4 lengths, and he got beat by the Derby winner that day, Authentic. Honorary Pay went on to win the Santa Anita Derby back in June. This horse just got beat by classier horses, but before that, this horse basically perfect against lesser quality horses. Won the Bob Lewis very easily at Santa Anita on the 1st of February, and then won the Los Al Futurity last year on a very weird Los Al main track. But cutting back to a 1-turn 7 furlong trip off the bench, training well, 8-1. I like him a lot. I think this 6-horse Independence Hall is your wise guy horse at 4-1. Joel Rosario gets the mount. Most recently at Del Mar on a good main track, going 6.5 and optional 100. The horse won by 1.5 length, and he sat back early after not the best beginnings, but he was a little bit wide, but he got the job done. If he runs that race today with a pace meltdown, I think he could really run a good race. Before then, the Florida Derby, this horse just wasn't getting the mile in the 8th, and the Sam F. Davis, I think the trip got to him late. A 1-turn 7 furlongs is what he wants. He's getting it today, training incredibly well. At 4-1, I think he's another very likely winner. But to recap my selection for the 10th right now from Santa Anita, it's the Grade 1 Malibu. Let's take the 2-horse 1,000 Words as a top selection. We'll also give kudos to the 6-horse Independence Hall. We'll go 2, 6, 3, 4 in the superfecta, 2, 6 in the multi-race. Let's get to the nightcap, the 11th race from the Great Race Place. The 11th race from Santa Anita. It is the Lady of Shamrock Stakes per $75,000 race for 3-year-old fillies here. We have a field of 10 horses heading to the turf course. The distance of ground is 1,600 meters, with a distance of ground of 1 mile on the Santa Anita lawn, the turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile on the Lady of Shamrock. My top selection here, we're going to go with the number 3 horse, who is Beguiled. I'm going to go 3-4-1-8 in the superfecta. 3-4-1-8 super. Top selection of the 3 horse Beguiled. This 3-year-old filly by Orb. Philip D'Amato trains. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 26th November at Del Mar, mile 16th, an optional 80 claimer, and the horse won by a half length. From the inside, stalked. Great trip on the turf course, which you need at Del Mar, and got the turn of foot. That one just going away. A very, very nice victory. Cutting back to a mile here today, drawn again very well. I think the horse could really run a good race. 2 back at Del Mar on the 31st of October, 1 mile and optional 80. The horse finished second by 3/4 in length. And again, just really couldn't quicken up a late. Plodded along. It was an okay effort. Definitely improvement off the race before, but still needs some extra turn of foot late. And then they tried the horse on the dirt before that, which was not a recipe for success. Santa Anita, 1 mile optional 40. The horse finished 7th by 21.5 lengths and just had nothing. Didn't break that well, and not a dirt horse. And then prior to that, an optional 80 at Del Mar, 1 mile, August 29th. The horse finished 5th by 2.5 lengths. Stalked, had the lead, and then just completely hit the wall. The better horses got to the horse, but training well locally. Back to the lawn where this horse likes to do the running. 10-1. Let's use her along with the number 4 horse here on Mars for Mike Smith and Phil D'Amato. From the inside, should get a good trip going towards the front end. Most recently, Del Mar won going away by 1.5 lengths, going a mile, and the horse just had a really good trip there. 2 back at the horse ran at Santino, a mile and 1/8 and optional 20, and the horse won by 3.5 lengths there. And very, very wide from the post draw and wide throughout, but the horse still just took off clear. Like I said, should get a good trip from the inside back to this turf course where the horse likes running. At 6-1, we'll definitely use her on the multis. A very wide open nightcap. So to recount my selection for the 11th from Santino, it's the Lady of Shamrock. Gonna go with the 3 horse Beguiled. Also gonna use the 4 horse on Mars. We'll go 3-4-1-8 in the superfecta, 3-4 in the multi race. And when your brain just loses every single thought in your head, just happened in the last 25 seconds. But good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.